And when rapid speed down to 2500.
Good point. Wherever you reduce speed to 180.
Blackbox.
All right, hey gang, KP here, KP's Blackbox. Thanks for joining us today. We have an old-time regular back in town with us, Mr. Luc Meacham, Saucy Paws.
Saucy Paws.
How you doing, man?
Good. It's good to be back. Good to see you.
Great to have you back.
Yeah, thank you.
So Luke's going to talk about football season 2024 with the New Yorker Lions, Braunschweig in Germany. He was a German pro football player, not the foot type.
Yeah, not the foot type. American football.
Have you seen the Saturday Night Live skit of Nate Bargatze
I haven't.
talking about names? He's pretending to be George Washington.
Okay.
Jake, can we show that, or is that copyright rules? Or
That'll probably get flagged. Is it where he's dressed up talking about the kilometer and the mile?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
he does one about football.
Okay,
Yeah, might get flagged.
I haven't.
Okay,
I've seen clips
go out
of
there
it.
and watch it. It's funny.
Yeah,
It's really funny.
yeah.
But American football
Right.
in
Versus-
Braunschweig,
Yeah,
Germany.
yeah.
So this was your second season
Yep.
playing, and you made it home. And you were telling me earlier that there was an opportunity to coach for the team next year.
Yeah. So basically, I've been looking all season to kind of make it a long-term commitment out there. I love the city, love the team, love the organization, love the fans, and so looking for a long-term position there as kind of a coach in the off season in strength and conditioning.
So coach player, you were going to play.
I was going to play, during the season, but also in the off season, be there to again help run workouts, run field sessions, help with recruiting. I mean, kind of whatever. Just be in the office, and be there for the organization and the team in any way that I could be. So ultimately, I extended my trip out there before I came home by a couple weeks to try and finalize all of that. Unfortunately, couldn't come to an agreement, or I mean, not even an agreement. It's not.
Your agent couldn't get a deal done.
Well, I'm my own agent, so.
Well, come on,
I
man.
know. Well, it's just it's got nothing to do with me. It's got nothing to do necessarily with what they want. So it just financially for me, my biggest thing is I'm ready to settle down, have the family wherever I'm at.
There's some news there too, right?
Yeah.
All the ladies in the world are going to be disappointed to hear that you're no longer available.
Yeah, no. So, no, it's been awesome. Obviously,
Jake, you got a picture you putting up? I see what you're doing back there. What are you doing? You threw me off.
Oh.
So for those of you who don't know, on the back side of this camera, there's monitors over here that I can see what Jake's doing in the studio.
Sorry, I was trying to pull up the photo of the of their engagement, but that was all story based. So.
Oh, it was all story based.
Oh, damn.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I've kind of kept a low profile with my love life, but also life in general. Gotten away from the Instagram just a little bit. It's been nice. So kind of taking a back seat on just focusing on myself and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
but let's do this. There's a little backstory to Saucy Paws here to Luc Meacham. So you're prior Navy,
yes.
right? So he was a sailor in the U.S. Navy. Went the SOCOM route, became a frogman, a U.S. Navy SEAL.
Oh yeah.
And not everybody can be a Marine. So, one of the things we always do in the podcast, you're used to this, is that before we get started, and we're getting way too deep in this already, and I haven't done what I'm supposed to do, which is pay tribute and honor to those who have made the ultimate sacrifice And this is your chance to drink once a year.
Yes,
and
sir.
You honor your brotherhood and the entire force that's out there with having a shot.
Yes, sir.
So this is I can actually say to you, Luke rarely has any alcohol. And I can easily twist his arm when I say, hey, we're going to throw a toast back for
Absolutely.
those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Yes,
so let's do that real quick.
And what are we drinking today?
This is Whistle Pig.
Whistle Pig.
Did I pour Rabbit Hole or did I pour Whistle Pig? This is Whistle Pig.
Whistle Pig.
Whistle Pig. So, very good. Whistle Pig. This is the 12-year-old rye.
12.
So,
Nice.
it's good.
Nice.
So, we'll see.
Yes,
To
sir.
those who have served.
To those. Hoo-hoo.
That one got me today.
That's
We
good.
we had a weekend of,
Yeah, I mean, you've celebrated a little bit this week.
oh, man. Go Commanders, a.k.a. Redskins.
Yeah.
If I can say that without getting canceled.
Yeah. Probably not. But
Yeah, probably not.
That's all right.
Yeah, I stuck my foot in my mouth a week ago on a podcast talking about black guys swimming, and got myself in trouble with my team.
Just doubling down. Too.
Just doubling down.
When it rains, it pours.
When it rains, I'm an idiot. So just everybody knows it, and they just go, "That's just kind of he's an idiot." But yeah, so Luke talking about swimming. So Frogman, that was the great equalizer, right? Being in the water, being in the cold.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Anything close to that in football, like in preseason workups and the grind, like this sucks.
I don't know. At this point, I mean, with these 2 seasons, I wouldn't say anything was close to that. I go back to some of the workouts in the wintertime in college football, some of those Friday finishers during winter conditioning. Those I was close to redlining those, but no, I mean I think this stage of my career, as far as football, I mean I punish myself in the off season, but once you kind of hit the end season, you're there to work. So we'll have our moments where we get a little kick in the ass, for sure, which is normal. But no, getting close to that line, not too often.
Yeah, right.
So
did you see the news in Germany about the UDT guy? He had just come out of I guess SQT or Buds, but he graduated SEAL training, and he went back. I don't know if he went back to his school or went and did a workout with a lacrosse team.
oh, I
Hear
did
about
I
this guy?
did see
and
this.
they all got what's
the muscle cramping. Oh, what
deterioration of your muscle? Why they just broke these guys
Yeah.
down so much they had
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
admitted in the hospital.
Yeah. What the hell is it called? But yeah, basically where you target a muscle group so much that it starts to break down. Why can't I think of what it's called now? But yeah,
Some type of atrophy.
I did hear about this, that he put it was a lacrosse team, right? Yeah, through a workout, and he probably had
Put some dudes in the emergency
a lot
room.
of parents call him. Yeah, I did see that. So
That's funny.
yeah.
But no workouts this season like that for you?
No, I mean in the off season, I mean it's hard to put yourself through something like that on your own. So I can get close, but it's much easier when you're being pushed by somebody else. But that's where that discipline comes in. And you see those motivators out there that are able to kind of get to that red line and hold that red line by themselves. It takes a little bit of a crazy person, but a disciplined person to be able to do that stuff.
Nothing like a trainer training a 53-year-old at the time and pushing them to that red line where they, throw a gasket and It took me like going all of 3 miles an hour and pulling a hamstring and
Yeah. I don't even know if you hit 3.
3. And an outright sprint.
No.
Dude, I felt like I was going fast.
No,
It felt fast.
the first time, it's got nothing to do with me. That was prior to our involvement together. The
Yeah,
first
that
time
was-
you were stretching,
Yeah.
doing a little warm up. The second time, I'll take the blame for that one because trying to introduce a little bit of speed into your life again.
That was embarrassing. Twice in 1 year. Different legs, too. Wasn't
Yeah.
even the same hamstring.
Yeah, but
But anyways, we're not here to talk about my level of fitness. Obviously, you can see that not much has changed since you left, and
well, I'm back, so
I worked on well. Oh yeah, and you may stay in town, so
Yeah.
we may actually
let's do it.
get back at. Okay,
Let's do it.
You were my favorite trainer
Yeah.
of literally of all people
Well, I
I've worked
appreciate
out
it.
with. It was
Yeah,
I got a lot out of your
Let's do
workouts and felt like I was becoming an athlete again.
let's do it. Athlete,
Yeah.
air quotes.
So
always,
air quotes.
You know? It's all right. We all have the athlete in us somehow.
Yeah.
We're not maybe at that same level, but we can
Yeah.
still be
Okay.
athletic.
All right.
So,
I'll take that.
yeah, I'm
I'll
in.
take that. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Sweet.
Cool.
Yeah. So great to have you back. Football season this year compared to 2023 New York Lions. Break down the season for me compared to
Yeah,
2023.
I mean, ultimately, same result. So finished getting to the semifinal game and losing ultimately in the semifinal game to Potsdam, who ultimately went on to win the championship game. So highs and lows. I mean, this season compared to last, I mean, we had great guys again. Biggest hurdle for us. I mean, we started 0-3, which was kind of unheard of for.
It's demoralizing.
Yeah, but it was I said this multiple times during the season. Like, we're the most we're the most dangerous 0-3 team in the league. I mean, and the most dangerous 0-3 team I've ever been on. I mean, I haven't been on many 0-3 teams, but to start a season 0-3, granted, the first game, I think we needed to take that one on the chin. We lost down or up in Kiel, and I mean, you got a new group of guys, so trying to mesh. We ultimately came out flat. We didn't play well. We lost to a good Kiel team. Second game, the morning of the game, our starting quarterback got hit with a flu-like something. So he got hit hard that morning, Saturday morning.
COVID?
It wasn't COVID, and it wasn't necessarily the flu. I mean, we don't know what it necessarily was, but he got hit hard. So the morning of the game, we had I think he's 20, a rookie quarterback start for us against a Paderborn team that came in, home game. We ultimately lost that game by, I think we lost by 1 or 2 points, and so we started 0-2. And then going into that week 3 game, we were playing Dresden, and Dresden's a big rival of ours, another great team in the north of Germany. And we're playing in front of their big stadium, so I think there were maybe 12,000 people there, which
Wow.
was huge.
Yeah.
So we're prepping for that game, and half of our team is sick. And each day we're losing more guys. So, and our starting quarterback, because it wasn't just like flu, people were having heart issues and things like that. So it was not like a typical flu and we're good. There were additional symptoms
Illnesses
that
involved,
were involved.
Did you figure out what it was?
I don't necessarily know. I mean, what?
'Cause I remember you calling me and you were sick.
Yeah,
right?
I was
you
sick
went
for a
down.
second.
Yeah. And then you were like, KP, I'm going to play quarterback.
Yeah, so this was that third game. We're getting ready for this third game, and we're going to Dresden, prepping to play in front of like 12,000 people, and we had just signed another American quarterback because our first American quarterback was sick,
Right.
and we didn't know how long he was going to be down. So we brought in this guy who had experience over there, in Germany and was living in Berlin at the time. So he came in that week, but you have to go through a number of clearances to make sure he's eligible to play and things like this through the league. So it was a Sunday game, thankfully, so it gave us an extra day. But we were unsure if he was going to be eligible to play. So I'm playing quarterback that whole week, where we install a brand new offense. Like we go to the single wing, which is old school.
Yeah. Is that like the wing tee?
Yeah, it's like the wing tee.
Yeah.
So we're watching all types of film. Our head coach, who is also the OC, we're planning all this. So put in a small package, and we're like, hey, this is what we got. We had some O linemen that were hurt or sick. So we had one wide receiver on the field, and we had like 23 personnel, 22 personnel, which is 2 backs and 2 tight ends. Or we just had our big guys in. Had me
Were
at
people playing both ways too?
No, but I think we went in with maybe like 38 guys, maybe 40.
And
it was a hot
special
day.
Teams.
Yeah, and it was
geez.
one of the hottest games that we've played. So it was just, everything was stacked against us. And for us to go in, and we were up 7-0 early, and we ultimately lost 21-7. And in that game, we had 3 different quarterbacks play. So myself, Donovan, and then we had another kid who was another rookie, not the same rookie that played in the second game, but another one. So it was, for us to start 0-3, and the first game, again, we'll take that one on the chin. Second one, again, a little bit of misfortune. Still should have won the game. Third game, we set ourselves up in a position to ultimately, we played well and could have won that game. But to start 0-3 and not even have a full team, it took us a long time. So our kind of motto and mindset going past that was, that's the preseason. We don't even think about that. Now we're charging ahead and thinking forward, starting to get guys healthy, and could finally practice with our starters and things like that.
So 3 games you lost right up front. You finished 7-5. So
started 0-3. We went 7-2 in the final 9 of the regular season.
That's strong.
And game 9 was against Berlin Adler, and we were both at the time same record. And the winner of that game claims the 4 seed. So it's top 4 teams in the North, top 4 teams in the South make the playoffs. So there's 8 teams that go. We're both, I think 3-4 or 4 and 5, our rank. But ultimately, with how the rest of the season looked, whoever won that game made the playoffs. They were going to be that 4th seed. So we ended up winning that game 17-0. And it was, again, we lost our starting quarterback in the first quarter of that game. Rookie came in, and our defense played lights out. And so ultimately, claimed that 4 spot with our 9th game of the season.
So you've had 2 full seasons playing in Germany and playing for effectively professional football in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Would it semi-pro? Is that where would you rank it? So if you're looking at NFL, USFL, or
UFL now,
and collegiately teams, and you played for Mount Olive. Mount Union.
Yeah,
Mount
yeah,
Union.
Mount
Sorry, Mount Union.
It's okay.
Mount Olive is Andy Griffith, right? And you got red hair. Opie days took me back. Yeah.
There you go. But Mount Union.
Mount Union, which was and is one of the most prolific D3 programs, right?
Yes, sir.
In the nation.
Yeah,
and I went to see a national championship game with you.
Any division, Division 3. It's the most winningest program in Division 3 history, and so I believe most winningest but championships they've got the most.
And you're like one of the goats of Mount Union. Right? You got.
I was okay.
Yeah.
So it was it was.
I went to
it
the
was,
game with you, man. Everybody knew.
Yeah,
Luc
no,
Meacham.
it was fun.
And your brother.
Yeah, and my little brother played there as well.
Yeah.
So just a historical program.
So the original question is, if you compare where you were and knowing what you know about NFL to the other pro leagues that are out there, where would you put the caliber of football that's being played in Germany?
Yeah, I think we've talked about this before, but it's comparable to probably like Division II. So it's how it's broken down out there is the GFL is one of the longest standing European American football leagues out there. Austria's got their AFL, which is the Austrian league, and now they've got the ELF, which is the European League of Football, which the ELF is kind of trying to become. I think they're going into now their 4th season, but the ELF is kind of like the NFL of Europe. NFL Europe used to be a thing back in the day, and a lot of those teams that were involved in NFL Europe, those names are still involved in the ELF. So you've got the leagues like in each country, the German league, you've got an Italian league, you've got a Spanish league, you've got your Austrian league, all these leagues. But then you've got the ELF, the European League, and that's a little bit higher in the sense of, I guess, the better players of the GFL and these other European leagues move up to the ELF. So the ELF is trying to become what I guess the NFL is to Europe.
Yeah.
And then you've got your leagues like the GFL or the AFL and the Italian leagues and all this that are kind of more of like the semi-pro leagues in Europe. So that's kind of been the shift as far as like European American football.
Okay. Yeah. And you said Division II. What did you mean by that?
Yeah, so I would say the level of play is comparable in the league that I played in, the GFL, to probably like Division II, Division II league. I mean, you've got
Division II collegiate.
Division II collegiate.
Okay.
So I mean, you've got guys that come in from the U.S. that have Division I experience, that have NFL experience, and things like that. I think as a whole, with the homegrowns, like the guys that play in Germany and things like that, I would say it's very comparable to probably like a lower end D1, higher end D2.
And there's a certain percentage of guys that have to be indigenous or that.
Yeah, homegrown.
Domestic,
So for our league specifically, the GFL, there aren't any specific rules with how many homegrowns you have to have. So German national players, the rules are as far you have import players, which I am included in the import.
Was there an import tax on you?
No, not on me. But there's so you can only have, the rules are you can only have 2 American players on the field at one time. And so most teams in the GFL will sign.
How do they manage that? Is there something on your uniform?
Yeah, so you ultimately have an A on your jersey and an A on your helmet. And then before every game, the referees check in each individual player. So we stand in a line, and the refs have our players pass is what it's called.
Interesting.
So they check us in before every game to make sure, obviously, you don't have more than 4 American guys. So what some of the teams do and can get away with is you have guys with dual citizenship. So you'll have a guy that ultimately played collegiate football in the U.S. or grew up in the U.S., but his mom or dad or grandparents are German nationals, have German citizenship. So you get German citizenship. So why that's valuable is now you've got a guy who is technically according to the league, they've got German citizenship, but they played in America or they grew up in America. They don't have to wear the A.
Okay.
So some teams will get away with having a lot of dual passport players. So it's not against the rules. It's kind of a workaround in the sense, but so that's a way, again, with that there is no limit to how many import players you can have due to financial reasons. Most teams don't have very many import players, so they, in New Yorker specifically, like the last 2 years we've had between 10 and 15. That's including the Americans. So the rest of the roster is German national players.
Did they mainly have like a rugby background, or where did a lot of these guys come from?
No, I mean, so New Yorker's got so Braunschweig in Braunschweig, they've got 7. So it's club. So within the club, you've got I think 7 different teams. So you've got all the way down to U13 flag football, which I believe is 5 on 5. Then you've got a U16 tackle league. You've got now it's a U20. It used to be U19, but you've got a U19. Then you've got the first team, which I played on. You've got a second team. You've got a Lady Lions team, so an adult women's team. You've got
they play tackle.
Oh yeah, and
wow.
they're really good too. So it's cool to see and be involved with all these teams in the clubs. And then you've got, which I helped coach most of the year last year in 23, was the flag football team. So that's 9 versus 9 semi-contact, and it's co-ed adult flag football. So you're allowed to have 3 down linemen, and so it's flag football.
So club team there really is, the club is developing kids at a very young age.
Yeah, so the whole idea and point is obviously to create a developmental program for local kids to get exposure to American football.
That's cool.
And keep kids involved, and they do a lot of school programs with flag football within the city and stuff as well.
Hey Jake, bring up Braunschweig, New Yorker Lions. Bring their Instagram page up. Let's go through this with Luke here for a minute. So let's do. We'll highlight you real quick this year. This is 2024 versus Ravensburg.
Yeah, so this is Ravensburg. This is our quarterfinal game, first round of the playoffs. So
Whoop.
Just a nice
little ballet move there.
Yeah,
a little ballroom dancing.
Yeah, that was. I mean, you never know what you're gonna get for field conditions down in some of these places. So this team is down south in Germany, and this was one of the most slippery fields I've ever played on. But as our head coach says all the time, champions don't slip. So, but yeah, this was a nice little dump pass. So coming out of the backfield.
Yeah. So what's pretty crazy is that's a pretty decent move you made there. But there was one from last year. Is that on this page? It went a little. I would say semi-viral.
Yeah, that can be found on my page.
Jake, go to Saucy Paws.
A little bit easier.
Yeah. This is pretty awesome because we actually did a podcast and we talked about this move, and you text me that night and we're like, dude, that video has gone viral.
Yeah, we can keep going down. I used to have it pinned to the top, but
it was an ankle breaker move. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, while we're going through this page, make sure you give Saucy Paws 288, right?
Yeah, right here, that one in the middle. Yep, that's the one.
Give Luke a follow here. Watch this move, guys.
Yeah.
So he's coming in. Oop. And you run this all the way back, right?
Yeah, that was for a touchdown. That one, that was fun.
And your first touch when you played pro football in Germany, 2023 season, you set yourself up for failure after that, right?
yeah. First touch in our basically our scrimmage game, our friendly game.
Yeah.
First touch was a punt return touchdown. So.
And you hadn't touched the ball in how many years? Like
8
in a game.
8 years in a game. Yeah. It was.
All right. So give everybody a quick rundown. So you played at Mount Union.
Yep.
Played collegiate football. Graduated from college.
Yep.
And then you're like, "Hey, Mom, Dad, I don't want to. What did you study? I don't even remember.
Exercise science.
Exercise science. That's right. I'm not going to be a fitness buff. I'm going to go be a Navy SEAL.
Yeah. So 2014 was my final season at Mount Union. I ended up taking the following spring semester off my senior year to train for that year's draft, for the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I mean, honestly, shit the bed in my tryout. Did some CFL workouts, then got selected to play for the 2015 U.S. national team in a tournament. And I knew after that tournament, if I didn't get picked up anywhere to play professional ball in the States, my next thing I was going to get ready for the SEAL teams and for training and the Navy and things like that. So, ultimately 2015, the summer of 2015, I played in that tournament. The International Federation of American Football, IFAF, is the federation. We won gold, and that was an awesome experience. And as soon as that was done, I went back to school to finish my degree. And as I was doing that, was training to go to boot camp for the Navy, with the obviously aspiration to get to buds and SEAL teams.
And you weren't allowed. This is pretty inspirational for you, those of you out there who are thinking, "Hey, I've got a goal for something," and how driven are you for your goals?
Yeah.
You've got a great story about your eyes. What happened there?
So for Special Forces specifically, your eyesight has to be within a certain it's got to be within a certain degree to be able to pass the test, without any corrective lenses. So my eyesight was bad. And so when I went to the recruiter and got physical and all that, they were like, "You can't even apply to be a SEAL because your eyesight's so bad." Well, I'm like, so instead of, I had my sights set on I'm going to buds. So I ended up setting up a GoFundMe. I went and got a consultation with LASIK eye surgery, and they told me I was eligible for it. So I set up a GoFundMe, and friends and family helped me out. And I raised the money to get the surgery done early in 2016. Wow. And so I had to wait 6 months post-op to be eligible to get into boot camp, and just have an opportunity to be no guarantees.
No guarantee at all.
No guarantees. So I was working out, and we have like dive motivators and boat crews and things like that, is what they call it when I was in Ohio. Just training and going through bud style workouts and the PSTs, which are the physical standard tests, to get a contract just to go to buds.
Yeah.
No guarantee with the eyes, just because I got it done. So the surgery went well. Again, LASIK was the best thing I've ever gotten. Even if I wasn't going into the military, it changed my life with being a contact and glasses wearer basically my whole life, and having really bad eyesight and getting the LASIK done. But aside from that, it just gave me the opportunity to pursue the Special Forces and opened up that door to try to get after that.
If you're talking to a young person today about goal setting, and this is where I love talking to veterans and entrepreneurs who have been vets, and specifically in in either some tier 2 or tier 1 or infantry world of where just being part of the suck, right? Just that your job is just to put up with the suck every day. And especially, I'll throw it out there as some Marine infantry guys that, they're not wearing any special trident. Yeah. They just got chevrons and either fuzzy private all the way up to, sergeant major, but you're embracing the suck each day, and that's what you're getting paid to do. Yep. And most of the young infantry guys out there, there's no extra special pay to go get your shit pushed in on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
How would you tell a young person today, if they're thinking about joining or enlisting, what do you tell them? The environment that we're in today.
Right. It's hard to, and I've ran into it back now playing football and just being around young people. I'm a seasoned vet. I'm 32, and a lot of these guys that I'm playing with are early 20s. So it's a little bit, and obviously my background is a lot different than a lot of those kids that I ultimately am playing with. So it has opened my perspective, and it's made me learn how to voice a lot of things, where, again, social media is a big influence on a lot of guys, and they think they need to be validated with posting things, and I hate that shit. And I've obviously last year a lot got caught up in a lot of that, but I was also social media has its benefits and it's got its detriments. Yeah. Where, absolutely. For me and my story, it's important to try, with me trying to get into the NFL and the UFL and these other leagues and just get myself out there after being off the playing field for 8 years. Social media can be a huge asset to push my story out there to people, but that doesn't take away of what you put in to the gym, to your nutrition, to your recovery, to your job. Your relationships, your family, whatever it is. Yeah. So what I have a hard time with, especially with a lot of the young guys, and ultimately, we dealt with it a little bit early on, especially starting 0-3 in our season. I can't look at myself and post a picture of, I don't know, of me in a jersey and doing all this when I don't even play. And it's like, I get it that wearing that jersey, having this job or that job or whatever, having this status, it's great. It means a lot to me, but what are you doing every day to earn that?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people, younger people, or just social media in general, it's taken away the value of what you're doing a little bit, where people just want the likes and the comments and things like that. And that's where I've just taken a step back myself personally from social media. It's like, I don't need the external validation, the fake validation from people. It's for me, what's most important is the connections I make and being an asset to everybody, that whether it's just a quick passing or if it's a friendship or family or relationship or whatever, that holds so much more weight to me. And it's nice to step back away from the social media. So for me at times,
you almost have to do a purge every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
Just a cleansing of...
just a cleansing. And obviously, without getting political and things like, we're in an election year, and it's just there's just so much on social media that I don't know. It's just so hard to kind of jive with anything. Yeah. For me, like speaking to young people, or if I could say anything, again, it's like, what is your purpose? And you got to be able to find that purpose within yourself and not get so caught up in the external likes
Yeah.
and things like that.
Well, it's like I made a comment on a podcast two podcasts ago where just guys just talking and sharing experiences with fellow veterans. And I was talking to another Navy SEAL, and he was talking about swim qual and the punishment that you go through in that. And I go, yeah, I remember going through my swim qual, and a buddy of mine at the time, he was PFC or Lance Corporal Harrell. Shout out again to Harrell. And Harrell was a very good friend of mine at my unit. And he was a black dude, and I didn't think anything about it until he almost drowned me.
Yeah.
And then we started laughing together
Yeah.
and joking about how black dudes can't swim.
Yeah.
And, man, I caught some shit for that.
Yeah. And again,
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything by it.
yeah,
So.
but people can take things out of context so easily,
Yeah.
especially, I mean, just chopping videos up and putting it out. And again, it's kind of the world we live in. And people that aren't a part of sports teams, special forces teams, military groups, anything like that, where, I mean, locker room talk is just you're shooting the shit with your boys.
Right.
You get through all that. I mean, you look at all the shit that you had to deal with in your time in the Marines, the shit that you have to deal with in the SEAL teams, and any military. You go through the hardest shit you're ever going to go through
Yeah.
with people from all different
All
types
walks
of
of
background,
life, yeah.
all different types, and that's the beauty of it. And you get so close with these guys and girls going through the shit. Like there's nothing better to bring people together than going through shit together.
Hardship, yeah.
And you have to be able to laugh about it, joke about it, because it's only going to make it better. I mean, there are countless times through buds and things like that we're getting our ass beat, we're getting surf tortured and shit like that. One quick story of that I did when we're in second phase, and once you get through first phase, you normally don't get surf tortured anymore. Our OIC was not loved by the instructors in second phase, and so as a brown shirt,
And an OIC is an officer in charge.
OIC, yeah,
Okay.
officer. So our OIC was not loved by the SEAL team, the second phase instructor staff, and it's not unheard of to get surf tortured, where we have to lock arms and lay in the surf, and the waves are rolling over. It's not unheard of to get that done in second phase, but it's not part of the curriculum. Like if you get surf tortured in second phase,
You guys are screwing
are
up.
screwing up. So, and the junior class, whenever the junior class, so for me, I was in class 325, so 326 was in first phase, and whenever a junior class runs by a senior class, you shout them out. You're like, "Hoo-yah, 325." So when they're running past us, we're getting surf tortured, and like it sucks. It's terrible. And so I'm yelling at 326. I'm like, "Call us out. Like we're getting surf tortured, and they're running by probably to go to chow or something. And so we're all laughing. I'm like, "Call us out." And so they go, "Hoo-yah, 325." And we're all getting surf tortured. And it's just like, it's just to crack a laugh, like
Right.
and people that haven't gone through that or just don't understand the team dynamic of things just can't relate. And it's unfortunate that is kind of the world we live in right now, where you just can't, it's a completely harmless phrase or whatever it is. And it has no mal intent behind it.
Right.
So, and that's just where people are just so quick to, I don't know, to comment and things like that and take things out of context. And so it sucks that you kind of got to walk on glass a little bit when you're trying to just say a harmless joke.
Well, we still live in cancel culture, and we are in an
Right.
election season, and
Yeah.
people get really, really passionate about their person.
Right.
And hopefully we can get back to just being good human beings.
Yeah.
And being good human beings meaning that I give somebody the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Until they just prove themselves wrong,
Right.
not prove me wrong.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. People are quick to judge, and it's yeah, it's unfortunate to be, I don't know, so divided. And it's the extremes are extreme, but I think most people are somewhere in between. But what gets the most views and things like that are the radical people on either side of whatever we do. So, it's
speaking to that, Luke, we were supposed to do a podcast in, what is it now, Northwest Field, Jake? It used to be FedEx Field.
Oh, the Commander Stadium?
So we went to the Commander Stadium, a.k.a. Redskins, for everybody who wants to cancel me out there, playing the Bears.
Yep.
And so Jake had this wild idea, Dad, let's go to a game this year. And we took some clients up from our financial firm. And every home game that Jacob and I have ever been to, and we used to be season ticket holders for the Redskins. So mind this. This is going back. We were season ticket holders for 3 years. I had enough. Tired of spending the money on a losing team. Then the following season, RG3 comes in and have a winning season, go to the playoffs. I didn't have season tickets, and Jacob's never let me forget it. To this year, he's like, Dad, look, they're going to have Rookie of the Year, or at least contender for Rookie of the Years.
He'll be Rookie of the Year.
I think he'll be Rookie of the Year, he said. So he's playing another contender for Rookie of the Year, Caleb Williams. So we were going to do a podcast in the suite that I rented, and we got caught up in the moment, didn't get around to doing it, but we should have. And
during the game.
During the game.
Oh wow.
And man, we missed an opportunity. And for those of you who don't know, the Commanders probably had the season highlight yesterday. Do you have it prepped, Jake? Are you ready? So this is 2 seconds left on the clock. The quarterback, who's the quarterback for the Commanders now, Jake?
Jaden Daniels.
Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Jaden Daniels, who played LSU, drops back, 2 seconds left, goes into a scramble, almost gets sacked there. Didn't get a foul or a penalty
call,
here.
yeah.
Holding call. Oh, nice hit there. Lets it go. Little volleyball tap here and scores.
What's I don't know if you've seen it, but the best part about this whole thing is prior to the play, number 29, the corner for the Bears. Did you see it?
Yes.
He was probably right there where
in our end zone. Yeah,
in your end zone.
Touting.
He was taunting the fans.
Taunting the fans. I don't know what touting is, but taunting.
Taunting the fans. And watching that clip from a football perspective, I don't think defenses are going to just rush 3 or 4. Here it is right here. Yeah, he's
talking crap. And then he's like, "Oh crap, play started."
Yeah, Jaden Daniels does a great job trying to buy some time, and just lets it rip.
So the guy who was just taunting everything, he's the one that tips the ball back to.
That if there's a coaching tape, a clinic tape on what not to do as a DB, that's it. But
it's bat it down, not bat it back.
You try and bat it down.
This is what it was like inside our suite as well.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, that's an incredible
Jake,
moment.
I just sent you ours. Is there a way to put up the one in our? Because I want to show Jacob here.
Yeah.
Jacob, just the highlight before this, I took a picture and sent it to his mom. And you guys have to understand, Jacob is a massive Redskins fan. I mean, he bleeds maroon, red, and it's just wild. So the play before, the Bears score.
Yep.
Jacob, and we're like 4 stories up. The windows are open, and I'm thinking I'm going to have to put a rope around Jake to keep him from flinging himself out onto the lower unit.
It wasn't that bad.
It was pretty bad, Jake. I could tell when Jake's angry.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
I saw it last year.
Yeah, you saw it.
Yeah, the game against the Giants.
Chairs flying.
I get it.
He goes from that emotion to less than a minute and a half later.
Ecstatic.
Ecstatic.
Just, yeah,
I mean, just both ends of the spectrum of sport.
Yeah, I mean, that's sports.
Yeah.
I mean, and people that don't understand sports can look at it and...
Oh, yeah, here we go. I caught the last of this. I was such an idiot with my phone. I didn't get it. Here we go. Here's his friend Rory.
Yeah, this
Bad video quality here on the...
Yeah, sorry. It, for some reason, didn't upload right.
Yeah, we've got some guys there that we can't show their faces. They're such badasses. So. This dude's a Bear fan. We got another Bear fan in the back. He's like, don't film me. And there's Jacob. You won't be able to pick it up on here, but when he turns around, he's in tears. He's literally in tears.
It's awesome.
And
I mean, that's, yeah.
I have never heard the roar of a stadium.
Oh, I'm sure.
In the I can't imagine how loud it was.
On the field?
Out on the field.
That's awesome. I mean, it's just that's the beauty of sports. I mean,
nothing better, right?
No,
nothing better than
there's
that
nothing
feeling.
better.
Have you ever had a moment in football, high school to college, where you had one of those? And you do. There is an ESPN moment where Saucy Paws, and the reason you have that name.
Yeah, that's the day that Saucy Paws was born. I had a one-handed catch in that 2015 tournament when I played for the U.S. national team. That
Jake,
ultimately,
see if you can find that on. Is that on your Instagram page?
Yeah, it would be. I think it's honestly one of my first posts. But yeah, that ultimately it was not the ESPN commentator, but the local broadcast commentator that ultimately called me Saucy Paws. So yeah, that clip ended up on SportsCenter Top 10.
Yeah, because you went back almost in that.
And
who was the Giants player?
OBJ, Odell.
OBJ,
yeah, so they did a side-by-side comparison with OBJ, and I did not feel, and I still don't feel worthy enough to be next to the OBJ catch, but it was that second one. Yep.
This is pretty cool, guys. Watch this catch. So where are you at?
So I'm down on the bottom on the inside. You'll see here.
There you go. They got to slow that down so we can see.
Yeah, so they'll. But that's
pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's from my former college quarterback right there, Kevin Burke.
You had a few less tats then.
Yeah, so that was in 2015. But yeah, then they go ahead and compare it. This is late night ESPN going through the Sports Center, comparing me to OBJ, which that is.
Well, I think he got a better camera angle than you did.
Yeah.
that's all.
Yeah. But I mean,
now,
you're
how much
seeing
of that, Luke, do you think? One, taking nothing away from you or OBJ.
Yeah.
Gloves. The gloves today are insane.
Yeah, gloves help a lot. I mean, I'm not going to say they don't help. I mean, yeah, but
and I'm such a dick, man. That I'm like, you didn't catch that. Your glove caught it.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, you got to be honest. So the gloves help a lot, and where OBJ is better than me at is the size of the hand. And so some of these guys like DeAndre Hopkins, who plays now, he's with the Chiefs, but OBJ, these guys I wear a large glove. Like my hands are not that big. Those guys have to have like custom made like 4XL gloves, 5XL, whatever it is. They have to get custom made because their hands are so big. So now, I mean,
you know what they say about a guy with big hands?
Big gloves.
Big gloves.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I mean, so the glove definitely plays a part. I mean, the size of the hand. I mean, you look at a guy like Shaq. I mean, with the basketball, they don't obviously make a bigger basketball just for him.
Right.
So the football's not going to change its size. If you've got a bigger hand, ultimately it's going to be a little bit easier to just catch. But I mean, you see catches like that happen every week now. I mean, these guys are just getting so much better. Obviously, the hand-eye coordination and
And the drills,
and the
guys are
drills,
doing
a lot
that
of
work
a lot
on.
of science, a lot of different glasses that you can wear to help with the hand-eye coordination. I mean, as everything's going to kind of progress and get better. So a catch like that, I mean, you see happen in high school all the time.
Yeah.
So
And for a quarterback, so you were a receiver or are.
yeah,
You know, you haven't retired yet, right?
Right.
So you're still
yeah,
hopes
yeah,
holding out.
yeah,
But for a quarterback, like I'm webbed as webb can be. Like my
Yeah.
thumb can't drop, but a lot of really
Yeah.
good quarterbacks can drop
yeah.
the thumb down here.
Yep. So yeah, it all plays into it. I mean, you look at pitchers and anybody that's got to throw. Ultimately, I'm sure there's a point that it's maybe a little too big. I mean, Shaq. I mean, again, bring Shaq back up.
Yeah, free throws.
He has a very hard time because that ball is so small in his hands to try and do a proper shooting technique.
Yeah. It's like trying to put a golf ball in a basketball hoop for us, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it all plays a big part. I mean, if a guy can just grip a little bit more of the ball, he's probably got a lot better velocity on the ball, a little bit better spin.
People talk about Michael Jordan back in the day
Yeah.
and the size of his hands in
Yeah.
basketball
Yep.
and controlling the ball had a lot to do. He wasn't the quickest guy on the floor, but you know things he would do with the basketball to move people in a direction.
Yeah, I mean, and that's there's no one size fits all with any of these sports. So it's always cool to see a little guy or a very big guy or something. Just obviously understand their limitations and be able to perfect what they have.
So for you as a wide receiver, talking about you know this comparison game, if you were to compare your style of game as a receiver to someone in the NFL, I've got a person in mind, but I'd love to hear who I think.
So I don't have any. So Anquan Bolden is the guy that comes
Really?
into mind.
Okay.
So a little bit more, a little bit bigger, not your blazer of a receiver. I'm more of a possession kind of guy.
Yeah.
So I'm not scared of the middle of the field. Like I
And you've taken some shots.
Yeah, I've
even in the
yeah.
German league.
Yeah, back-to-back years taking a shot to the ribs. But again, it's you got to be fearless going across the middle. You start thinking too much, it's going to take away from your ability to catch the ball. So, yeah, I would say a guy that I've always kind of compared myself to doesn't play anymore, but Anquan Bolden, where he was crafty and understood like. I'm not the fastest guy. I'm not the tallest, the lengthiest kind of guy, but I used my brain in understanding leverage, understanding defenses, being able to get in and out of my routes, and then knowing whenever the ball came to me, I took pride in catching the ball. I mean, as a wide receiver, you got to be able to catch. Yeah. So I had great hands, very sure hands, and a really good understanding of defenses and leverage and things like that. So all of that comes into play. If you're, the fastest guy ever on the field, if you don't understand football and understand leverage and, you may be able to get away with a go ball, but you're not going to be able to, run intermediate routes, crossing routes, check down routes, and things like that.
And I was going to put you in an Edelman.
Yeah, and again, so guys like Edelman, a current guy like Hunter Renfrow. So some of those guys that are a little bit, they have to be a little bit craftier, and again, understanding. So I have a lot of attributes. I feel like, again, Travis Kelce, where it's just you watch him and Patrick Mahomes, and it's those guys a lot of times, and they talk about it. They don't necessarily know what each other are going to do, like when the ball is snapped, but it's like, it's just pick up basketball or it's backyard football. It's, hey, I'm going to read your body language. I'm going to understand what you're going to do. You see the void. I see the void. You're going to get to the right place and just make the play. So,
puts the ball there.
Yeah, and
Kelce catches it.
Yeah, it's impossible for a defense to
have the magic of Taylor Swift.
Yeah. So, So yeah, that's just from a football perspective. That's kind of the beauty in the craftiness of and the development of the game of football, where it's kind of trending.
So football now, 2024 is over. You were going to take an opportunity to work with the team, and that door's kind of closed on you. What's the hope, aspirations moving into the next season?
I mean, my big thing of where I'm at in my life right now. I mean, I obviously I loved it out in Braunschweig. And my big hope and dream and goal was to be able to be out there full time, and to keep the ball rolling with kind of the relationships that I was developing with all the clubs and all the fans and all the teams out there and the guys that I work with. Obviously, I don't know how many years of playing I have left, but I could definitely see coaching, especially out there, in the cards of what I was going to do and what I wanted to do. For me, it's about being a part of something that is obviously bigger than me. I mean, it was the main reason why I wanted to get into the military is do something for others, and that service piece. I felt like home out there in Braunschweig, so I wanted to again continue to try and develop and give back in that community. So for me, it's not just about me anymore. So getting married here soon, and
Shout out Haley.
So, so it's her and I. It's the dogs. We want to have kids. So for me, that's important. I've been on the move for the last, it feels like, since I got into college in 2011. I was in college for 4 years, and then I was in the military for 6 years. The last 2 years I've been in Germany back and forth, and it's like I just turned 32. So I'm ready to settle down a little bit and kind of lay down some roots.
Yeah.
And so for me, with the coaching aspect of that, I'm sure I could get talk to different high school teams or college teams or something like that locally. But for me, I've developed so many relationships out there, and I believe in that place. So that was obviously the goal this whole season and going into next season to be able to be there. So if that doesn't work out, I think I'm probably done with football, which is a little bit emotional for me because obviously I gave so much to be back in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I went 8 years without the game, and it took me about 2 years. So starting in close to 2020 when I got back from my first deployment of training, rehabbing, getting my body right, because with the goal of playing football in 2023.
Got to get your football legs back.
Yeah.
That's
So
a real thing.
Yeah, and so to be able to play 2 really fun years over in Germany, and so I had all the intention of obviously playing next year, going through this whole season. But coming to reality a little bit of how excited I am for this next chapter of my life, and obviously wanting the best of both worlds, to be able to be out there full time with my family and coaching and playing, and laying my roots down out there. It's obviously got to make sense, financially and everything like that. It's a lot for me to ask of Haley. We're obviously leaving friends and family to go out there. So now it's kind of that transition point of my life where, if that ultimately doesn't work out, what's that next
So
chapter?
leaving football, I was a little taken back when I heard you say that. Like done with, like, you wouldn't coach in the U.S. if
So
someone said, high school to
maybe it really like
little Lukey comes along and goes, Dad, I want to play football.
yeah. Again, it's I've been trying to obviously the last couple of months, or really the last month, try to figure that out and process that, which has been hard. But what is so exciting about it is obviously having Haley and the thought of obviously starting a family and doing that. So that makes me want to obviously the selfish desire of what I can't do is to go back over to Germany by myself for 6 months and play. It's not fair to her. It's not fair to us. And I'm really excited about this next chapter. So
I heard a guy at the football stadium yesterday who was there with us. So Prior Sill, and he actually gave a young man really good advice about making a commitment to anything. Like, as an example, something at a very high caliber that requires a lot of your mind, your body, your spirit. He was talking about the teams. Mm-hmm. He told this young man, he said, hey, he goes, I think I want to be a SEAL or try to be a SEAL. And he's like, well, here's what I want you to be prepared to do. Be very narcissistic, very self-absorbed, very much about yourself. Yeah. And I was going, damn.
Yeah.
He was like, he goes, that sounds really ugly. He goes, but you have to be committed to the brotherhood.
Yeah.
You have to be committed to something that's bigger than yourself and this thing. He goes, and it's really hard for me to even wrap my head around saying all this to you today.
Right.
But he goes, you just got to be absorbed with being a team guy.
Yeah.
And I think any professional sport requires a very similar
100%
calling.
Yeah, 100%. And, I mean, you could ask my parents about it. Like, I was a jerk as a kid. Like, I played sports my whole life. And if my mind is set on something, I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna commit to that and do anything and everything that I can to get that done. And so that's kind of where I've been each chapter of my life, with soccer growing up as a kid, to high school football, to college football, to then my military career. It's like nothing's gonna get in my way. And to now, back in 2020, when I was like, okay, I've got 2 years left of my active duty contract. What do I want to do with my life? Am I going to extend or get out? I've got opportunities to play football overseas and in the States potentially. All right, for me to get where I want to be, I got to be all in.
Yeah.
And so for me in this next chapter of my life, I've got to make that decision. And for me, it's very exciting. But it's when a chapter ends, another one begins, and that's just kind of how my life has been.
We're 32 today, as it relates to the NFL. Yeah, I mean, you've heard the story. You and I have talked about this a number of times, that most people would come to you who are at that caliber, and let's say they're a scout or whatever. What's the first thing they say to you?
Yeah, I mean, they're like, well, you're 32 years old. Yeah.
So is that what you're saying? Is that what's kind of setting in now? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, I mean, for me, there is potential that, okay, if I stay stateside, I'll give this thing one more run and see if I can do something.
Third time's a charm.
Here in the States, yeah. But for me, and the level of commitment it takes to go overseas and play for 6 months, and what that would take away with what I'm trying to do with my family and things like that, those things just ultimately just don't align. And, going through a season where I was hopeful that it was going to be able to work where I got the best of both worlds with being able to live over there full time, and still be able to play. And then obviously after conversations and things like that, ultimately it's not going to work out. Now it's kind of the realization the last couple of weeks where, you got to have those conversations, especially with your partner, like, where we got to be on the same page, and it's not just about me anymore.
Right.
And that's totally fine. Like that is exciting to me.
Yeah.
So we'll see kind of ultimately what happens. So I haven't completely shut the door yet. So there are potentials, but I think the reality is setting in to be done, and looking at what the next chapter of life is.
Awesome.
So,
well, I wanted to get you back on the show today to catch up on season 2.
Yeah.
And, man, awesome to have you back on. I'm going to say just selfishly, I hope there's a way that you stay stateside, and I'm sure there's a lot of people rooting for that too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I appreciate you having me and being back. It's always good to be here and be with you guys. So looking forward to seeing the family. And
I'm fat and out of shape, and my body fat's way up, and I'm just, I need my trainer back, man.
Yeah. Every morning hit that pool.
Hit that pool.
So
it is that season, isn't it?
It is that season. So let's get it.
Shit.
Let's do it.
All right.
Are
we committing to that? We're going to have to post it again.
There you go.
Another 30-day challenge.
I'm in.
All right, brother.
So, all right, man.
Great to see you.
Yeah,
great to have you on the show again.
Yeah, thank you,
awesome.
Kenny.
Take care.
Appreciate it.
Reduce speed to 180.
Blackbox.